Hi everyone, welcome back to A&D's World. We are
Dennis
and Alicia, and this is a series where we share our story with you all. Last week we shared with you guys a very special story of ours, a proposal story, and for the first time we also did a midweek drop, which was our proposal video. Last week we left off the proposal story, how we're excited, emotional, and at the same time I was also very scared to announce it to the world that we're committed. This is not a phase, this is not a joke, this is for real, we are for real, and we've committed to each other forever. So overall, that day was just a big emotional roller coaster for me. Happiness, how is the world going to react? It did affect me, and knowing and getting a hint of how people perceive our relationship and everything, it scared me a little bit. But again, I was enjoying my time that night and celebrating with Dennis's side of family. For me, it was a bit difficult because there was a completely different reaction from his side of the family. You know, to them it was all about celebration, their brother getting engaged, there's addition to their family, whereas for my side it was completely different. Me trying to balance that and enjoy the night at the same time was difficult on me. On November 24th, Dennis posted the proposal video on Facebook, and nothing's official until you post it on Facebook, right? I shared it, his family shared it, so now everybody we knew, family, relatives, friends, started sharing. And I had only told very few people who were very close to me knew about our relationship. So all of a sudden, within seconds, everybody, Ghana, Nepal, America, Sweden, Germany, wherever my or our family, friends, extended family lives, or even people who don't know us, saw our video and reacted to our video. And that was shocking. That was the shocking part to me. I knew what the reaction would be. I knew. I'd be lying if I say I didn't know. But the extent of negativity, slut shaming, hatred that was coming towards us was insane.
She says coming towards us, but mainly coming towards her, because I feel it's different for men and women in interracial relationships. Taking examples, I'm sure in Nepal there are a couple of Nepali guys dating from other cultures, but I doubt that they get that level of scrutiny, assaults, rejection from their family, their friends, and their community at large. The same thing in Ghana, even in the US, the same thing happens here, where women get treated much worse than their male counterparts in interracial relationships.
It was also coming from people I already knew. That was a bit shocking to me, because these are people I thought were my family, or somebody who I could count on, or somebody who I could call and talk whenever I needed them, but that wasn't the case. And it is true that people say you see people's real sides in times like this, right? It really told me who are my actual people. I was just in disbelief, the amount of hatred that was coming towards me. My instant reaction was to block everybody, right? So if I don't have to see them, then if they can't message me, then I won't be as affected. So I started blocking everybody off of my Facebook. But again, it didn't stop there. People somehow have ways to reach you. If they want to be negative, if they want to be toxic and they want to say something, they have means to get to you. And in that situation for me, they didn't have to do much. Like, I was already in a pretty vulnerable situation even before that, and that just added on to my pile and affected me. I was talking to a few friends. Finally, as I'm sharing all these stories with you all, I was mentioning it to them, like, remember that time I didn't speak to you for 2 months? It was because of this. Not that they were being negative, but I just like shut down the world around me completely. I didn't talk to anyone because I was scared. I was like, is a person I'm going to talk who I thought was my friend also going to say the same thing? So like a lot of my friends and few family friends stood by me. but I was just scared. I stopped talking to people completely, and it really affected me. It really did.
Learning from this, not everyone around you is going to be negative. Yes, there are people that are angry and upset at the world, and they just see your situation as a way of letting that out, so they let it out at you. And that's why in the last video I had mentioned, don't react to them. Yes, be angry with them, be upset with them, but don't react to them. Because not everyone out there is malicious, crazy, bad, hates you because you're in an interracial relationship. She cut off family, friends. Some of them were mean, some of them were very aggressive, but some of them weren't. Some of them hoped she would reach out to them and seek some comfort, advice. Some of them tried to reach out to her, but because she had made up her mind and put that block up for almost everyone, it was hard for them to penetrate and even share their 2 cents.
One thing that happened, which is beautiful to me at this time, was I started getting closer to Dennis's family. I started getting close to his sisters who were here, and I really have to thank them because they were really there for me at that time in terms of talking, having a conversation, comforting me, or letting me know that everything's gonna be okay. And that helped us build a relationship other than me just being their brother's fiance. We bonded and created our own relationship, which is still beautiful. It was difficult in a sense that it was hard, like how the Ghanaians were so accepting of me and our relationship, and everything was just positive and beautiful and all great, but it was the opposite from us Nepali people. What are we doing? I was just trying to make sense. Where is this coming from? Why the reaction is this way? And there was no making sense to it. I didn't know. I still don't have any answer.
You were talking about how the Ghanaians reacted and how the Nepali community reacted. Those are the cultures we're from, and that's why she's using that. But specifically, we've been out and had girls approach you and ask you, how do you deal with being with a black guy? How do you deal being in an interracial relationship? They're so scared of what their families, even in the US, are going to say. Even though they were born and bred here, their family is from the US, they still have that hesitation of being with someone from a different race because of whatever reason. So we've had people approach you and ask you questions and ask you if you think it's okay for them to date someone out of their race. We're using Nepal and Ghana as our example, but it goes beyond that. There's an Asian American Olympic athlete, Sunili. She's in an interracial relationship, and she receives so much hate from her community, just like we did, or maybe even more. And she is in the US. My question is, why is it different for men than it is for women? And at the same time, why are we still talking about these things in today's world, today's globalized world? Why are we still talking about this? And there's another couple, Allison and Isaac, who's in the NFL. They also get the same hatred. They also get that same level of interracial bias that goes on everywhere in the world. So yes, we're using Nepal and Ghana as the example in our situation, but we are aware that it's not just limited to why I keep telling you, whatever your issue is, throw a stone out there in the world and you'll find 1,000 different people going through that same issue.
I remember one time I was having conversation with one of Dennis's sisters, and had never expressed anything about how they felt for somebody who was loved and adored in their family and their community. To be bashed this way from a different community to them was very hurtful. When you're throwing negativity at somebody, it's also affecting the family. To see their brother, their son, their friend be treated that way was of course hurtful.
There were times my siblings would be like, I don't understand why you're so calm about this. Because I understood where they were coming from. And I stand on principles that as long as the people that were important to us, the relationships that were important to us, the relationships that I knew would be eventually healed, as long as those people had legitimate reasons of not wanting us together, I was fine. One thing I appreciated was that my character was never a question who I was. So it never gave me cause to say, I'm done with them, I'm cutting myself off. And the only reason they didn't want us to be together was the fact that I was black. And I'm like, if that's the only problem you have with me, then you don't have any problem at all. Because I can't change my color. Bring it on. But outside of the people that were important to us, anyone else who wasn't, who said anything else, I'm like, yeah, whatever.
The story I just shared was Dennis's family could have easily been your side of people are being so mean to my brother, then why do we have to be nice to you? Because I've seen people do that. I've seen people be like that, but they were not like that at all. They accepted me as one of their own family member. I really want to point this out. That's where the difference lies. The way you choose to treat people. And I think that's very important because it really touched my heart until date. I love them not just because they're Dennis's family and I love him, that's why I have to love them. I love them, period. Something I learned from my experience is, yes, it helps you for a smaller period of time when you like block everybody and you just want to be on your own and you think they don't have a way to get to you. But when they've already got to you in your head, they don't need any other means. They don't need Facebook, Instagram, FaceTime, or whatever. They've already gotten to you. So the important part is to not let them get to you here and here, your mind and your heart. So understanding blocking off the right people is important, but not everybody. Understanding who are the kind of people who are comforting you or standing by you when the whole world is against you is important. And again, those understanding and being able to make those decisions comes with self-healing. Understanding what you want and how you want to lead the decisions that you've made in your life. I want to emphasize on this. I'm still working on it. I'm nowhere close to where I want to be, but I've come far from where I was.
Those people are going to identify themselves. You don't know.
Yeah.
You know, because people you thought were going to be in your corner weren't in your corner. Right? Some people you thought were in your corner.
Yeah.
But those people identified themselves. It wasn't like you knew they were going to be in your corner or they were going to be in our corner. They just showed up. They were just good people.
Yeah. The most important thing is the world is going to react. They reacted to our proposal video. Anything you post tomorrow, the world is going to react. The thing is, how are you going to deal with it? How are you going to let people's opinion affect you? How much of people's opinion matter to you? By people, you need to be able to filter who you're listening to and who you're filtering out. Work on yourself. I heard this other day and I really liked it. It said there's a reason why there's I in the middle of happiness.
Why is that?
Because it's you who can make you happy. And there's a reason why there's I in the middle of smile. You should be the number one reason to make yourself smile.
And for friends out there who have their friends or family in interracial relationships that you know of or that you're yet to find out, and you're wondering, how do I help the situation? There's no easy answer for you either. Just like there's no easy answer for them to come and tell you and to tell their families. All I can say is you just need to be there. Number one, let them know you're there for them no matter what. Number two, when they come to you, just listen, because they have a lot to complain about. They have a lot to share. Just listen. Don't feel like you need to give them solutions, and don't tell them, I understand what you're going through, unless you've gone through the same thing. Even us having gone through this, we can't say we understand what another interracial couple is going through, because they come from different backgrounds, they have different parents, so it's going to be different. But we can definitely say, we understand this must be really hard for you to deal with, because that's something that cuts across board. So that's something you can empathize with and share with them. You can say, I'm sorry all this is happening to you. And then you just keep quiet, and then you just listen. If they're crying, which they are gonna cry, you can give them a shoulder, or you can just sit with them whilst they cry. And if it gets too much, you can get up and leave. That last part I did a lot of times because it got to me. But don't. Just sit there and listen. It's going to be hard on you as a friend as well, because people might attack you for supporting them. But don't feel like you need to justify yourself to people that are attacking your friend, or empathize with them on one side and then empathize with your friend on the other side, because then you're just in the middle like a yo-yo. If your friend finds out you're empathizing with these guys on this side, she's going to be upset with you, he's going to be upset with you. And then if these guys find out you're empathizing with your friend at the same time, then they're also going to be upset with you. But in a couple of years, when that relationship is healed and your friend and whoever was upset with them are back together, your relationship might never recover, because you were just a pendulum in the middle going back and forth. Just be there, listen, be present, and nothing else. You can be present on both sides, but just don't take sides or feel like you need to open your mouth and talk or acknowledge. Even if you don't support your friend's interracial relationship, just be there, just listen. That's all you need to do, nothing else. What do you think?
Yes, I can 100% vouch for that, because I needed that. And in my case, to some extent, I didn't let that happen. But somebody who would have listened to me, or somebody who would have just even said, hey, I'm here for you whenever you need me, sitting by you, holding your hand, and just giving you that comfort really, really, really helps. One thing I do want to say, as we're sharing these stories, and I'll be very honest, we're going in depth and really honest about everything that we've gone through. I'm smiling in between because I'm like revisiting those days, and today where I am, I want to pat myself. Wow, Alicia. And you too. We've gone through so much, and Dennis has already mentioned, and I also want to specify that this is our story. We are just sharing our story with hopes that it's going to help our viewers. By no means are we trying to say that we are correct and the world is wrong. It's just our experience sharing with you all, and that's about it.
During these times, we still had to live our lives, and Thanksgiving was around the corner. Life was still going on, but there were a lot of milestones that we had as a couple that we couldn't have our whole family present with us, which wasn't the best. when life's happening, you want to be able to share it with everyone that's important with you. And one of the good memories that we had with your family during that time was Thanksgiving, going over to your
aunt's
place and just eating, sitting together, getting to meet most of your family that's here in the US, and feeling like part of the family.
Yeah.
So that counted, right? Even though we missed a lot with them, it was good to still have a portion of your family being able to celebrate little moments and being in those moments with people that you love.
That was extra special for me when we were invited to that Thanksgiving or at my aunt's place, because that was the first time Dennis was formally being introduced to my family, and he got to see that side. And before that, it was always me hanging out with either his friends or family. I remember that day. So that's all for today from Andy's World. Thank you so much for watching, and we truly appreciate all the love that you guys give to us. We've mentioned in our description, when we get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll do a special Q&A session, and I will have Dennis do the closing.
All right, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
We'll catch you guys on next video. Bye. Love you all.